Welcome everyone to the Real Estate
Show.
Am I starting or you?
I think I'm going to start.
Okay, I'll start. Welcome everyone to the Real Estate Podcast Show. We're your hosts, Ryan Kelly and Eric Shaver, and we had a great interview today with Hilton, who is one of our reps for Vanleigh. So yeah, it was a great episode.
It was awesome. We had a great conversation, learned a bunch about the product, a bunch about his background, and we had a ton of fun recording this. So we really hope you enjoy.
With that said, enjoy the show.
The myth is people think that, hey, this is just not for me. They're nervous. Well, at the end of the day, it's like I say, it's more of a community, and it doesn't matter if you got a travel trailer or, a big bus, a diesel pusher. This community is probably one of the most family-oriented, willing to help out anybody, no matter what the circumstances are. You'll go to a spot and camp, and next thing you know, you meet 3 people, and now you guys are traveling the country together. And it happens all the time. And you meet people that become your friends for life.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show, brought to you by the Top 50 Dealer Beaver Coach Sales with your hosts, Ryan Kelly
and Eric Shaver. If you're here to learn about all things RV, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we sit down with people who build, buy, and sell RVs to bring you an in-depth look at the RV lifestyle.
Well, Hilton, thank you so much for joining our show today.
Yeah, hey, great to be here, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so we just wanted to have you in and talk about you and Vanleigh and get to know you a little bit better for all of our people. We were talking about it earlier. It's kind of fun. We get to have you for a couple hours at the dealership, training our guys, and it's a lot of fun for our listeners and for the community to get the same experience that we do. So this is kind of our way of doing that.
Yeah, awesome, man. This is really pleasing, feeling really good about, sitting down sitting you guys about myself and the company, which I'm really proud of too as well.
Yeah, good deal. Well, let's get into it. We just wanted to, first things first, tell us a little bit about your background. We kind of want to know, how'd you get into the RV business? What did you do before this, and what kind of brought you through to the RV industry?
Yeah, let's see. Before I came into the RV industry, I was selling medical equipment for a company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then my best friend, Tom Montag, was in the RV industry, and he had, made a suggestion about, hey, man, do you want to, think about coming to the RV business? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems like something out of my realm. But they started up a company, and I came down for an interview and just said, you know what? Let's take that leap of faith. I could hear that little voice whispering in my ear to, make that choice, talked it over with the family. And so we decided to take that jump. And that was back in 2011. And since that time, man, I've never looked back, never thought twice about the decision that I made. And I love it because at the end of the day, you're selling fun. People are going out using these campers to, whether it's for a weekend or for, all year for the next 5 years, for your full-timers. It's been just something that I feel really passionate about. And the same thing with you guys as far as for your dealership. That's what makes it a real good, nice combination.
Yeah, That's awesome. And you were telling us a little bit earlier about you went to school and you said you went to play basketball and you ended up coming out with a business degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I actually I moved from Virginia to Wisconsin. It was a little bit of a culture shock, a little bit different from the way that I grew up, and cold. I mean, my first I would say winter. I had never driven in snow before, and I remember taking my car over to a parking lot and teaching myself how to drive in the snow. So they told me that winter was going to be bad that year. Well, the first snow, we got 1.5 feet. So, I came outside to go get in my car, didn't know where my car was because it was covered. So it was a little bit different, but, it was awesome. But yeah, I went to college, graduated with a marketing/business administration degree, played basketball too as well, some of the best times of my life. And it was a great city. I was in La Crosse, Wisconsin, still, have a special place in my heart to this day. It's where I met my wife too as well. So it was, my mom always said, hey, everything happens for a reason. And I truly believe in that too as well.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. So how about your journey as a rep? How many years have you been a rep now, and what's that journey with Vanleigh been like?
Yeah, so like I said, I started in industry in 2011. So I've basically been doing it for 9 years. And I've been with Vanleigh now for the last year plus. It was, when I got this opportunity to come over here and work for these guys, they already had a reputation, and everybody knows, the whole Tiffany brand. And, I remember saying to myself one time, I was like, man, if something like that came up, I would definitely possibly look at that, because it kind of aligned themselves with, the way that I would like to actually work for a company or build my own company as well. So I took that leap of faith, and it's probably been the best decision I've made in a long time. And the true thing about Tiffany / Vanleigh is they really align themselves with, hey, let's build a quality product. But the thing that I like the most about them is they stand behind that product. And I think for me, that is something that if I was building a company, that's what I would want to do. And one of our mottos is, if you take care of your customer would take care of you. And in return, you always have a repeat buyer. At least that's what you're striving for. And it's been really great, working for them. I mean, we're still a young company. We've only been around for 5 years. I say only 5 years because, some of these others, counterparts out there, they 10, 20, 30 years in the business. But we've carved out a nice niche for ourselves, and we're steadfast growing and really looking at, taking it to that next level.
That's great.
That's awesome. So you said you were in medical sales before.
Yep.
And so you changed over to RVs. That's a pretty big culture shock, I could imagine.
It was.
I mean, like going from Virginia to Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of getting used to it. I remember when I went back to my current employer to tell them what I was going to go do, and the look on everybody's face was,
RVs, that's outside.
You're going to go do what? And I said, yeah, I'm going to go sell RVs. And, till this day, some of them are just still looking at me like, man, are you still doing that? And I'm like, yeah, man, I love it. It's been great. But I actually ended up talking to one of my buddies to actually come down, and he actually ended up getting in the industry too. So, and he would never thought he would have left either. He and I both worked at the same company, and he came down for an interview and moved his family down there, and it was awesome. So the RV industry is a lot different than medical supplies, but at the same time, they got some similarities as far as, how you approach your job. But because you still, in my other job, still dealing with that end user as well. And that's what I took a lot of pride in, because we're all dealing with customers. But on the RV side, I think you tend to have a little bit more fun with it, dealing with you guys on the dealerships, and then also the retail customer too. So it's been good.
So Hilton, that's a good transition. People know what Eric and I do. I mean, RV salesman is pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
But for our audience, can you explain a little bit about what a factory rep does, what your roles and responsibilities are there?
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to basically kind of be the jack of all trades. And what I mean by that is, we have to, basically run a territory, as a regional sales manager. So I cover the West Coast for Vanleigh, from basically Colorado over. And so my job is basically to, provide support to my dealers, such as yourselves. Make sure you guys are stocked with inventory, make sure you have the proper floor plans, manage your inventory, provide, dealer training, which is one of the reasons why I'm out here today. So showing up at my dealer's lots every 2 to 3 months, keeping you guys abreast of all the new trends that are coming out, new product, or what we might see that's new, or something we need to maybe approve upon, and then also dealing with the retail side of it. So like, say you guys have a question, whether, and you got a customer in here and they got a question, you have to, be able to be available so that you can answer those questions for you guys, and also take calls and field calls from the retail as well, which this time of year, which is kind of on the uptick right now, because we're starting to see a lot of those full-timers coming in back into the market too as well. And then we also deal with the customer service side. So when a customer has an issue with the unit, Well, who is the first person they call? It's that regional sales manager. So you got to be able to deal with that side of the business too. So it's like I said, you kind of got to wear the jack of all trades with it, but it's fun. Like I told a multitude of people that your year flies by so fast.
Sure. I bet.
When you're dealing with in the RV business, and then we also have shows too as well. So show season is typically from January to March, April. So you got to go work those too as well. And it does require some time away from home. Don't get me wrong, but I feel very fortunate. I have a very supportive family. My wife does a lot for us, and the rest of the family, and my kids are understanding too as well.
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
to a certain degree. Sometimes they're like, "Where are you going?
Take us with you.
When are you coming back?"
So with that, I will say what I appreciate about your walkthrough this morning. Hilton did a walkthrough for our whole sales team this morning, and I like that it's interactive and we're actually out in a unit. Yep. Instead of coming in here with just a sheet of paper and here's all the new stuff, or or here's some videos. You actually come out and demonstrate things. Hilton, in this RV not too long ago, he was doing pull-ups on that open cabinet.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. You're definitely one of our favorites. But
that was pretty awesome.
I appreciate your energy. Your style's just really really cool to see.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's those walk-arounds can be boring, very, very repetitive. But what I try to do is incorporate, some fun into it, get into the details of it and provide some value for you guys so that when that retail customer walks in here, you guys are spot on, but you can also enjoy it too as well. Because at the end of the day, I like, a lot of people say in the industry, you are selling fun, to that end user.
Yeah. It's fun for us as sales guys to have reps that we can call. Like, so for the way we see it, we sell to the retail customer.
Right.
You sell to the dealers, but like you said, you have two jobs.
Yeah.
Because you sell to us, but you sell to the customer too.
Right.
Like if we have questions, we call you up, and then if our customers have questions that we don't know how to answer, hey Hilton, can you talk to them? And it's kind of cool though. You get a little pulse on both sides of the business, which is fun. But it's cool to see what you do. And you said you travel a lot, so I think we were talking about it earlier. You said you're out a couple weeks out of the month.
Yep.
And you live in Indiana.
Correct.
So you're back in the Mecca.
Oh yes.
RV Mecca.
Oh yeah, surrounded.
Yeah. A booming metropolis of Elkhart, Indiana.
Oh yeah, it's a good spot. I really like it a lot there in Elkhart. Great place to raise your family. But I'm out 2 weeks out of the month, and sometimes more. But right now it's been 2 weeks on, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks off, which get to work my own schedule. That's kind of the way Vanleigh sets it up. And I don't work actually out of Mississippi, so I'm based out of Elkhart. But it's been good, man. I really like it.
What time was your first phone call this morning?
5:26.
I saw you answered multiple phone calls since you've been here.
My first one was at 5:26, and it was. Because we got the time difference, and so it was, and I set my alarm for 6 this morning, and so I got woken up a little earlier. But it's part of the job, and I enjoy it because I take pride in being able to service our dealer base, and that's part of my job.
Yeah. So it starts at 5:26, and then I call you at 5 our time. Yeah. And it's 8 your time.
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Exactly. Right.
But it's okay. A couple times. I'm like, oh man,
you just do that math. You just do that math in your head, Aaron.
Yeah, I did.
Time zone conversion.
Yeah. I think the time it gets
Elkhart,
caught up
Indiana,
in the
is that 3 hours ahead or 3 hours behind?
Yeah,
I always
3.
forget.
It's a lot.
Well, daylight savings.
Daylight savings.
Winter solstice.
Yeah. That's it.
Great, man.
That's wild.
So I got a question about Vanleigh specifically. Getting going. This is like a little legend that I've heard. I got to know if it's true.
Okay.
Set it straight. When you guys started, did Vanleigh and the crew there, did they buy a fifth wheel of like the top one in the industry and then just completely deconstruct it and figured out how it was built and where they can improve, like for the research and development?
I'm gonna answer that like this: allegedly.
Possibly.
The nice thing is this is being recorded, so I
know.
You can look at the camera and say it was a, and they'll just bleep it out. I could say.
Yeah.
And right now, Jared can just.
Jared's getting a little mad back there. He's got a lot of work to do. You're gonna put a big black box
feel free
over
to
your
tell
mouth.
the story.
Yeah, it was somewhere along those lines. That's all I'm gonna say.
Something like that.
That's smart. Talk about good research and development.
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
number one in the sector?
Yep.
Buy it. Figure out how to deconstruct it, and
Where can you
how
improve
can you make
how
it
can you
better?
add to it?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's a common practice throughout the industry.
Yeah.
But you just want to see what the next person's doing, and certain companies do things a certain way, and then we looked at it, and then you take your spin and then do things the Tiffin way after that. So yeah, good idea to start with that way and then build upon it.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yes.
So neither confirmed nor denied.
Yes.
I think on MythBusters they call that plausible.
Yeah.
plausible.
Exactly.
Plausible.
I plead the fifth.
So along those lines, you've I'm sure you've said it many times and talking with customers, but if you could tell us a little bit about the story of Vanleigh, obviously we starting there. What is the story of Vanleigh, and how did they get started? Why did they get started? And obviously Tiffin hadn't done fifth wheels before Vanleigh,
Right.
so
Yeah.
if you can give us that history, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So the mothership, which is Tiffin, they've been in business for X amount of years, since 1973. They've done an extremely good job of really cementing themselves in the motorhome side of the business. They've been probably top of the line for the last 14, 15 years. The son, who is Van, and Van Tiffin, and then the grandson, who is Lee Tiffin. He's the grandson of Bob Tiffin. They wanted to venture off and get into this fifth wheel side of the business. So they talked to the powers to be and basically said, hey, let's start a company. So they kind of started looking for some property. Settled on some land over in Burnsville, Mississippi, and one of the buildings was already there, and so they looked at saying, hey, all right. So they allegedly did what they did, and then kind of took it from there. And then one of the things that they wanted to do was take, because as you look around the coach today, it doesn't look like a whole lot of other fifth wheels that are in the industry. A proven element of the organization is that motorhome pedigree. And what they did was they took what we had or were currently and are currently doing on our motorhome side and just transitioned that over into a fifth wheel. So when they launched this brand, it looked completely like nothing that had been done in a fifth wheel side. So I was working for another RV company at the time, and I remember going to my first show when I saw a Volano, and I walked through there, and the first thing I said was, oh boy, this is gonna be trouble.
Oh yeah.
Because I could see it, because it had such a different look. And then as I learned more and more about it, and then start to see the Tiffin story and the way that the company was run, it was definitely going to be somebody to be reckoned with. There's a true player. And one of the things that with Vanleigh, and by the way, that's Van and then Lee, and they combined those two together. That's how they came up with Vanleigh. But they wanted to actually build off that same platform. So from a customer service standpoint, identical. They stand behind that product wholeheartedly. I just had this conversation with a lady yesterday. She could buy anywhere, and she told me point blank was, the only reason why I'm buying, this front living room from you guys is because, I've gotten on the forums, I've talked to, people at campgrounds, and the one thing they say is, Tiffin really stands behind their product. And there's something to be said about that, and that's how Bob Tiffin, helped build this company from back in the day, and they stayed true to that across the board. Yeah. And so when we came out as a company, I say we because I'm part of it now, we basically weren't up there to that Tiffin standard out the gate. So, but when you look at from the retail aspect, they saw us as Tiffin, and they wanted us to be there, and that's how they looked at us as that too. So we've, conquered that, that hurdle and put ourselves up there now. But we gradually got there, and now we're, right there on that same playing field as far as providing outrageous customer service to our customers, to our dealers, building a high-end quality product. and making sure that, hey, when you come in and buy a Tiffany / Vanleigh product, you're buying something and you treat it, you become part of the family.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, I mean, you bring up Bob and Van and Lee.
Yeah.
What's it like working with the Tiffin family? I mean, they're absolute legends. Bob was inducted into the RV Hall of Fame in '99,
Yeah.
and they're a really prominent name in the industry. What's it like, behind the curtain working for that family?
Well, the organization is great, top to bottom. Nobody's like Papa Bob. I mean, Bob, and I've come out here and worked the show. He's out here. I mean, the guy's 70-something years old. Works harder than me, I think. But he's still got a nice, good motor going. And I've seen it where people take the door off. The coach come in to get an autograph for them. They'll stand in line. It's awesome. And he's, his demeanor and his way of doing business has, is that trickle down effect that comes down through everybody throughout the organization. Now, myself personally, I don't see those guys as much because I'm over at Vanleigh, but dealing with Lee, Tiffin, and Van sometimes too has been great. They do a good job of, basically taking that same concept from what has been done at the motorhome, bring that over. We all are in it for the end user. I mean, when dealing with Lee, he's been great to actually work for. He's the one thing I like about working with Lee is, he's always willing to listen to anything that you might see as a concern or another different idea. And then, if it's a good one, he'll run with it. If it's something that they don't want, maybe not. But, that's out of a leader, that's one of the things you actually look for as far as for quality, and he does a great job at that. And we're steadfast building, and we're always trying to, take ourselves to that next level. We like to say we do things a different way. We're not out here trying to build 20 units a day. We want to, do it, to a point where we're still trying to control the quality and put something out that people can enjoy, Well,
nice thing about that too is you guys are the only privately held, at least large privately held RV manufacturer.
Yeah, I think we're one of the last.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
you don't have anybody to answer
got bought out by
Winnebago.
Yeah.
Thor owns everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then Forest River.
Yeah, I think we're one of the last ones left in that family-owned business, which
pretty cool.
It still says a lot, about them. I mean, I'm sure they've probably been approached multiple times about people buying the company, and Bob doesn't want to go down that road, and it's a great family business, and you couldn't ask for a better organization to actually work for, in my opinion.
That's great.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great company. We've loved working with Tiffin and Vanleigh. We're kind of the same type of business, of the family business. So it's fun to work with a manufacturer that's customer based, not shareholder based.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing.
And what's interesting is from our perspective, it's easy to say no to a dealership, and it's easier to say no from the relationship from the manufacturer to the dealership standpoint when we ask for stuff for customers.
Yeah.
Because we're not the end consumer. Dealerships can mistreat dealers at times and all that, and there is no with Tiffin and Vanleigh. There's no we're high and mighty. You need us more than we need you. There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's let's see what we can do. And it's very polite being let down. No, we can't do that for the customer. I appreciate that. Actually wait a couple years because we have something in research and development for Or it's just great how you guys have. You're just no high and mighty complex there. It's what can we do to help the customer?
Yeah. Well, you notice when you go out into the industry and you look for when somebody's looking for a coach, and I'll use you guys as an example. Tiffin has its way of how they like to conduct business, and then you guys have your way of actually conducting business. But the great thing is we're probably 80-90% on that exact same page. So it's, you look for people that you can partner with to have a, great nucleus with. And you guys are really good in that area too as well. And you look for the customer's best interest when it comes to actually, basically providing them with, the right product and customer service. We had that conversation earlier, customer service is huge. At the end of the day, if it's not all about price. We had that conversation too, because you can you can get the best price anywhere, right? Somebody lay one down, cutthroat. But at the end of the day, a lot of times, if you go and you buy from a reputable dealership, such as like you guys, that price is negated. It doesn't mean anything because you're going to step up to the plate, make sure that they're taken care of, contact us, making sure that we're actually doing our job too and holding us accountable. And we try to step up to the plate and do that as well. That's kind of what, the Tiffany name actually brings with it. So it's great to have a partnership with a dealership such as you guys too.
And customer service is not common nowadays. But if you break it down, every business, whether you're in manufacturer or retail or whatever service or product you sell, everyone is in the customer service industry.
Right.
You might just sell or build or service something, a different product. Yeah. So I think with the minute you lose sight of that as a manufacturer, as a dealership, as whatever, then you lose your customer base.
Yeah, my previous employee when I was in Wisconsin Medical Supplies, he said that whenever you start a company, you start it with customer service first, and he said you build the rest of the company around that, and that always stuck with me. He just said it's your nuts and bolts. It's the way. He also had another one. He said, customer service plus sales equals profit. So customer service is first, then comes your sales, then comes your profit. So if you start up there, it'll bring everything else back home. And Tiffany's in that same ballpark. So, you want to work for a company, that stands behind its employees, believes in its product, and goes above and beyond for the customers. It's a win-win situation. That's awesome. Yep.
We see it a lot too, and we were talking about it earlier. And the cool thing about being a privately held company, a family company, is you can pivot a little bit differently. Yeah. You don't have as many checks and balances in your way to do stuff. So what that translates to, from what we've seen, is when our customers say they want something or they want, and like we were just saying, you say, hey, just wait a little bit, because it's coming. That's one cool thing we were talking about, and I'm not going to give away any secrets, but it's kind of cool to know, hey, there's something in the pipeline because you listen to the
Stop
customers.
Recording.
Yeah, stop. Can you bleep this out too? Yeah. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You see, hey, we're listening, and that's pretty cool. We love that. We love that. Yeah. But specifically, let's talk a little bit about Vanleigh as a product. What makes you guys stand out from the competition? You just went through this with all of our sales guys, so you don't have to go through the whole dissertation. But
I don't know. I want to see him do some pull-ups again.
I'm ready for the pull-ups. That was pretty good.
That was my one workout for the day. I got my 3 pull-ups in for the day.
That'll do. That's 3 more than I did today.
Yeah, that's it. So Vanleigh itself, like I said, is it kind of looks a lot different than the rest of the fifth wheels out there. But one of the things that we do and what people notice is right when they walk inside this coach is going to be the wood. That's always one of the first things that stands out. We actually have a 75,000 square foot cabinet shop. We do all of our own woodwork underneath for one roof, which really plays into the, basically the integrity of the coach, the construction of the coach. We really try to, hone in on that. That's, most of the industry, they might have 3 to 5 different suppliers that provide the wood throughout their coach. It's just coming from one source. So we control it ourselves. We get it shipped here out of Oregon, ships down to us. We mill it, cut it, stain it, and then clear coat it too as well. So we're able to do some things to it, like I said, it matches exactly what we're doing on our motorhome side. So that part of it is really awesome. We take a really good pride in, from a construction standpoint of making sure everything is solid throughout that coach so we can control that quality on it too as well. And then on top of that, man, we have our designers. One of them's based out of California. And she comes in and helps us with all our decor throughout the year, for model change. Let's just take, for instance, look at our backsplashes and our coaches. It's a little bit different, because that's all hand-laid ceramic tile backsplash. There's a couple of people that do that. That's their jobs all day. Yep. So one of the things that we've tried to do is take that house, that brand new modern home or whatever style home that it is, and reduce that down to, basically 430 square feet and give you those amenities. that you might not find in some of the other some of the other competition that's out there. Like let's take case in point, like our furnishings. Okay, this company that we're using right now is called Franklin Furniture. They're based out of Mississippi, second largest residential manufacturer in the company. I mean, in the country. And this is all true residential grade furniture. It's some I tell anybody when someone sits down on this furniture, they feel like they're sitting down on a sofa or a theater seat at their own home.
Oh, it's comfy.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Now, don't do that because now you're gonna go to sleep.
He's not going to make it through the rest of the podcast.
Exactly. Man, wake him up at lunch.
Dangerous. You got that fireplace going.
Yeah, he's done. So, and one of the things that they did was they used that cool gel memory foam. So it's really nice as far as the comfort of it, and then we real nice finishings on top. So, and this is an exclusive. I mean, we're the only ones in the industry that are using it. The motorhome is using it now too as well. So it's just things like that really help separate us. And then we really try to go above and beyond on construction. We make all of our own frames on site. I mean, nobody else really does that. Now, I will say it's still a lipid frame, but we actually build them on site, right behind our plant. So that means we controlling the quality side of it. We're making sure we're hitting all those spots that need to be sprayed. We weld them. I mean, then we're not getting shipped something that we think that might end up falling apart down the road. But building that on site, it allows us to customize our frames. We increased the header size on it up the front, made that into a 6-inch header. So we're doing some things that really kind of separate us from the rest of the industry. But at the same time, still getting that uniform look too as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you guys are still using the T60 fiberglass.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier too.
Yeah.
You guys use it in more spots than any other.
Yeah. So on our sidewalls themselves with that T60, it's probably one of the best sidewalls in the industry. You really can't beat it. It basically allows you, especially if you're painting a coach, it allows you to give you that nice shine on that outside. But we use it in all 3 brands. I mean, so we got T60 on Beacon, Volano, and Pinecrest. Okay, nobody else really uses it, especially in that Pinecrest price point. Right. And then one of the other things that we do is we laminate and insulate all 5 slides of our slab box. And what you gain from that is you get a better constructed slab box, and then you're also getting one that's going to be very well insulated. And then you're not going to have to worry about it actually delamming on you or leaking or get rotten out on you. We use a material that's called hair cell on the bottom half of it. That gets compressed to that 1-inch subfloor. And in return, you get a nice, well-constructed floor. No moisture or anything builds up into it. Then also, like I said, with that insulation, it gives you a real nice solid box that, you're not losing or escaping air throughout that slab box itself, too. And then we try to, when it comes to like your countertops, a lot of industries use the same thing there, but we upgrade all of our hardware. We went to all of smart TVs throughout. We redid the shower, put in that teak bench this year. We just actually went to the 360 plus wine guard, so now you can actually have Wi-Fi capabilities in the coach. I mean, let's face it, the industry is actually changing just due to COVID. We were talking about that earlier. So now we've actually seen our demographics change, where in that Beacon price point, that is usually kind of your older crowd. Now we're actually starting to see some of the younger families come into it or just a couple, because they can actually work anywhere in the country. COVID has shown us that you might not necessarily have to be stuck in the office, and still get your job done. So I look at that as some of the things that are changing, over the course of the last year or two.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up another good question.
Yeah,
How
good transition.
Yeah, how has Vanleigh specifically been affected by COVID? I mean, industry as a whole, of course, has been.
Yeah.
How have you guys been affected, and what have you changed, or what have you seen changing in the company at all?
Yeah.
If
So
anything?
I would say initially when we first had the whole COVID shut us down, we were just like the rest of the industry, like eyes like, whoa, what's going on? What is what's going to happen? Because it just shut off. But then we got back to work a little bit earlier than the rest of the industry. Started back a little slow, building 2 a day, and then what we did was just try to keep ourselves just one step ahead, just trying to, pace ourselves and figure out, how to tackle this COVID and, keep the employees safe as well. So we've done a really good job in that facet from the plant standpoint. And then I won't say that it wasn't a challenge because everybody had to face it. But I think that the biggest challenge now is suppliers getting us parts. It's been just so much. The industry went from having a good year to all of a sudden, within a 2-month span, it was just it went from A to Z. And and we all love it. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it has some challenges along with it, and we've tried to make adjustments on the fly, which we've had to do, and we've really got ourselves, through that portion of it. But it's really, I think, going to be a great next year, 2 years, because you're getting a lot of first timers into the market. We saw that. I mean, how many trades you guys get?
Oh my
Not
gosh,
many, right?
man. Yeah, exactly.
So,
A lot of first timers.
yeah, we've seen a ton of that. So it's pretty awesome. And the one thing about camping, and you guys know this too, you've been in business for a while, is when you buy that first coach, a lot of times it's great, it's awesome. You got that first one, and then you go out to use it, and then you pull into a campground and you see somebody beside you with a nice one. They say, "Come on in, check it out." So we, it's awesome because you're going to see that trickle effect, happen where you don't just buy one camper and jump out. You usually once you start camping, you're in for life. And then, 20 years from now, these people will be on their 4th, 5th, 6th coach. So it's really awesome to see that. And I'm really happy to, help these people take that next journey and take those steps along the way too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good deal. So here's another question we have for you. This is something, being in the industry since 2011, you've been in it for a while. So what is one common myth about the RV industry that you hear all the time, and how would you debunk it?
A common myth. I would have to say that most people think that, gosh, I don't look at them as myth. I just look at them. I was taught that those are opportunities.
There you go. Okay, that's a good way.
Yeah,
what's an opportunity?
Yeah.
What's an opportunity? What's something you hear all the time?
I look at them as opportunities, but
Okay.
they just say, a lot of times you hear that a lot of people think that camping isn't for everyone. And I just use that as, I know it's a little bit on the generic side, but I honestly feel that buying an RV is probably the best thing you could do for yourself or your family. And here's my reasons why. Because once you get in it, they always get hooked. But to take that leap of faith and do it, that's where the myth is. Because everybody thinks, who wants to go camping, sit in a unit, sitting at a campground? Well, the thing is, it's probably one of the most beautiful, helpful, just integrated of people that you can actually get. Sure. Because I will tell you that out of any other industry that I've ever been involved with or been associated with or looked at, there's nobody out there more willing to help you out than somebody in the RV industry.
Yeah,
true.
And it might get to the point where it's too much help.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will tell you, man, if you could go on a forum right now or whatever on the site and post a question and you'll get 2,000 responses. Yeah. You can be in a campground, you got an issue, there's somebody in that campground that's going to know exactly how to fix it. So it brings me back to, the myth is people think that, hey, this is just not for me. They're nervous. Well, at the end of the day, it's like I say, it's more of a community, and it doesn't matter if you got a travel trailer or, a big bus, a diesel pusher. This community is probably one of the most family-oriented, willing to help out anybody, no matter what the circumstances are. So I would tell everybody, anybody, and they always find that out after they get in. And I think that's what keeps people actually in the business. I mean, in the RV industry, is because they become part of a family. And you'll see, like, you go and you'll go to a spot and camp, and next thing you know, you meet 3 people, and now you guys are traveling the country together. And it happens all the time. And you meet people that become your friends for life. and it's probably the most family oriented, portfolio that's out there, man. I mean, it's just awesome, and I think that's what keeps me in it too as well, because I know that I'm helping people, and and they've taught me a lot. Like when I first started in the industry, I didn't know anything about RVs. When I tell you nothing, I mean, I had never been in one. I mean,
really?
No, not
gosh.
even a
Jumped in with
pop-up.
both feet.
Seriously?
No, I hadn't even been in a pop-up.
That's nuts.
My family, we didn't camp, I might have slept outside, a couple of times, just me and my brother outside on a blanket, but, it was never, any camping, going to a campground. So we, when I started into the business, one of my buddies, he's a coworker. Now he's actually still one of my coworkers now. He said, "Hey, just when you get into these shows, he's like, just go stand inside of a unit and listen to the customers." And I'm like, all right. So I did that, and they taught me how to actually sell a unit, because when I first started out, you get somebody that's on their sixth, fifth wheel, and I'm dealing with the high end stuff. Mm-hmm. They know everything that there is, right? Mm-hmm. And I sat there and listened to them, and they really taught me everything and anything about fifth wheels. And when I messed up, they also taught me anything and everything about a fifth wheel. So it's been great. Like I say, I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But if there was a myth, I would say that would be our opportunity. That would be my number one, I think, that stands out. And then it's true. It's proven, because once they get in, you're in for life, man. Yep. I love it.
That's a great answer. Yeah. That's a great answer to the question.
That's what makes it so much fun for us on the retail side, especially as we've been doing our own rallies and own events and customer appreciation. With both of our fathers being in the industry, we've known them since third, fourth grade.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah. Our dads have sold them multiple coaches over the years, and now we're selling them coaches. And so we're looking back at wedding photos. We're just like, there's a lot of older people. Those are my adopted grandparents from all over the country.
Yeah. And you're right. It's more of a lifestyle than it is a hobby or something like that.
Exactly right.
There's a sector in this industry for everybody.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what kind of thing. It doesn't matter. Yep. There's something for everybody in here. Yeah. My wife was she was big into backpacking and all this stuff, and so she backpacked across 16 different countries. And when we got together, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm in RVs now, and this is what I do." And she goes, "Oh, that's cool, but I'm kind of a tent. That's what I do." I was like, "We'll see about that." We took about one camp trip, and she's an RVer now.
Oh yeah. My wife, when we first started dating and all that, she goes, "We will never use another tent. That is not camping.
No, it's going to be a
tent in the sky, and that is totally me."
Yeah.
Then brought her down to Palm Springs. I go down there for a couple months at an RV resort in a 45-foot luxury RV. She goes, "Oh, are these floors heated?"
Yeah, so
the size
nice.
of the shower.
So nice.
That's a different animal. Yeah.
It change a little bit.
Changes a little bit. But I like what you said too, though, like how you meet people. It seems that, and what I always tell my customers too, especially in the sector of like what you're doing here with Vanleigh, these are higher end units. They're more often than not, we're getting a lot more first time buyers, but you are having a lot of people that are moving up from something. And this is a type of product where you might travel longer distance or be gone longer, that sort of thing. And I always tell my customers it's hilarious if they haven't done it before, how you'll be at a park on the Oregon coast and you'll meet a few people and then all of a sudden you'll pick up and travel, and a month later you're in Florida. And you're like, hey. Yep. You were just in Oregon.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It really is. It is. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's so cool and helpful.
They'll be like 2 sites down from you. Like,
like, wait a minute.
What are they on?
What are the odds of that? Where are you headed next?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Well, and then last quick story on that. I have customers who were here just a couple weeks ago. They were getting something done on their coach, and they're waiting for tile floor for the shower to come in. So they're sitting on the sales side, so their coach is kind of mixed in here with all these sales units. Yeah. And they were just in their coach waiting, for a couple days. Okay. And a couple comes through and they're looking through coaches. They get to theirs, they open up the door and walk in, and they're sitting on the couch. They go, "Hi, how are you?" They're like, "Oh, are you guys in this one?" "Yeah, come on in. Come, look around." Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they're looking around, and wow, this one sure is nice. They go, "We sure like it too." They're like, "Oh, yeah." And then they open a cabinet and go, "Oh, there's food in here. There's food in the fridge." They're just sitting there smiling. They go, "Is this yours?" "Oh yeah, we own it." "Oh, we're so sorry." We're like, "No, look around."
Shit, man.
so funny. It wasn't until they were halfway through it that I realized someone was living in
Someone
it.
owns it. Yeah.
That's how they do, man. It's,
Yeah.
it's awesome though, man. It's such
cool.
just an open community,
group.
man.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
group.
just such an open community. It's hard to beat. You can't find too much of this out there in any other industry. So it's real awesome.
No doubt.
Well, Eric, shall
so-
we transition into our fire round?
I think so. The campfire round?
Let's do it. The campfire round.
Campfire round.
All right, Hilton, first question for you in our fire round.
Okay.
So you're going camping in your Vanleigh. Give us the top 3 places you're going. Taking your family out.
Gosh, I'll tell you, Bend, Oregon's one of them.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I give you that. So,
Shameless plug.
Yep,
yeah,
we'll take it.
That's one of them. And then I would definitely go to the Redwood Forest.
Okay.
That's my other one. And then Yellowstone. That's the other spot.
Ooh,
Those are our top 3 where we would actually go.
good spots.
You're on the wrong side of the state.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
know.
Move over to the West Coast.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you hit Yellowstone, then
Yeah.
hit Bend,
Yeah.
hit the Redwoods.
That's
and then
it, man.
right back.
That's one of our journeys. So that we want to actually take in a fifth wheel. So we've got that one spec'd out. That was an easy one for me because I already knew where I was going.
That's awesome.
great.
That's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
get a free Vanleigh because you work there? Is that how it works?
I don't know. Did you hear that, Lee? Yeah.
Sell 10, get one free.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I have to drive one out and stop at those places along the
there
way.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's great.
All right. Question number 2.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge facing the RV industry right now?
Right now, it's actually inventory. And you guys are probably, up to speed on this. Right now, a lot of dealers are selling their incoming stock before it actually lands on their lot. So as far as us trying to get product and inventory out to the dealerships, that's been a challenge. So between that and supplier shortages, trying to get ramped up because of the high demand, in a nutshell, that's kind of, our uphill battle. And it's going to take a while, a little bit for us to get up there, but we, as an industry, everybody's doing everything that they can to actually try to meet this demand. But hopefully over the course of the next 3-6 months, we can find a nice common space and get things kind of level back out again. But it's a good thing because that just means more and more people are wanting RVs. And, I think as an industry, we all are up to the challenge to go out there and meet that demand.
That's great.
Yep.
So with that said, where do you see the future of the RV industry going?
I think the sky's the limit. I think when I say that sky's the limit, meaning
Flying RVs.
yeah, well, it's coming. The Jetsons, right?
Sky's the limit.
I like it. Elon Musk, get on it.
Yeah, I think you're going to see more and more people come into that Beacon, Volano, as far as for full timers. I think there was probably about when I first started in the industry, the full timers were basically coming into the industry and they thought that there was about a 5-6 year run on that. But the way things have changed now, I think you guys still going to have your true full timers, but you're also going to have that other demographic below it that more and more people are like, hey, look, let's sell the house. Okay. We don't need all that stuff.
Yeah.
And especially some of them, if they got the kids gone, it definitely makes sense for them. And then some of them might have small kids and they might do it until it's time for them to start school. So you're starting to see more and more people come in and, tiny home boom, it's out there. And it's taken off over the course of the last, 3 to 5 years. And this is considered a tiny home. It's 430 square feet max, but some of those tiny homes might be a little bit bigger or smaller. But I think you're just starting to see more and more of a house on wheels. And that's, what we focus on too as well at Vanleigh with all 3 of our products. So I think it's going to be the next big step. You'll just start to see more innovation come into them. They'll look more and more like whatever the housing market is right now, like the new ones. The RV industry sometimes is usually about 3 to 5 years behind. Just all depends. But you would just see more and more of that come into the RVs. Everybody's always trying to be innovative, come out with something different, something new. But then also, I think the key to success is listening to that end user, because they'll tell you exactly what you want. And our end users are you guys, the dealerships, and then also the customers. So, because you guys are in the trenches is more than what we are sometimes. So that's going to help take us to that next step.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. And then what are some exciting things Vanleigh is doing right now? Allegedly.
Yeah. So
What you're allowed to tell us.
yeah. Well, some things I can tell you. One of the things that we're getting ready to launch that I'm really happy about is we're going to a new roof material. It's really awesome. It's new, innovative, and it's called Alpha Ply. And it's basically it's going to be 40 mils thick. Nobody else in the industry will have this. It is going to be one of the best roofs in the industry, and it also is going to have an 18-year warranty. So that's going to be one of the new things that we're actually bringing into the market. It's going to be a maintenance-free flat membrane, so you don't have to seal it. The sun won't make it crack or that chalky substance that's up there. Basically, the material that it is it's like a 50-50 blend. So it's made out of vinyl and rubber, and they fuse that together. And in return, you get real nice solid product. So we're really excited about introducing that. There's a couple other things that we're looking at doing. We've kind of been toying with coming out with a special edition. We're not exactly sure what that is, so I don't want to spill all the details on it, but that's something else that we possibly looking at. And then we're always just trying to create new floor plans. One of our new floor plans that we're getting ready to launch, you guys will be getting it in here soon, is our 41 LKB. It's got the rear kitchen in the back with the front bedroom and bath up top with a half bath. The first one's just started coming offline. It is, I will say, this year will be our #1 selling floor plan.
Wow.
When you guys see it, you will you'll see why, and you'll see some other manufacturers come out with this floor plan too if they haven't already. But it's dynamite. I mean, I don't like using the word dynamite. It's awesome. I'm very excited about it. So we've put a lot of thought and processes into it, and really came out with something that I think the end users are going to really love. So far, the ones that have landed on the lots, we've had a couple 390s hit, and boom, gone. So the 41 LKB is just going to paint now, the first ones. I think yours is going to be shortly thereafter. It's awesome. We're looking forward to it. So
that says something, because there's only so much you can do with 42, 45, 40 feet.
Exactly.
Yep. So coming up with a really creative, popular floor plan, that's big.
Yeah, that's always a challenge. There's so many floor plans and different ideas have already been done, and then trying to come out and put a spin on something or come out with something new. That's an everyday challenge for every manufacturer. But those that do it great, you see how successful they are, and that's one of the things we're trying to take ourselves there. We think that we have an exclusive look, but we also are trying to come out with some new innovation things and really bringing some new things to the market as well.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for a second story where the roof slides up.
It's there.
You got a movie room.
If you're looking for ideas, we're full of them. Drop in hot tub.
Yes.
There you go. Boom,
Just
bam.
drop it in.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, I like to see that go down the road.
We'll call it the RHT, the rear hot
the
tub.
rear hot tub. All right. Hey, you know what?
Roof lounge.
Roof lounge.
A
There we go.
lounge on the
I
roof.
like it.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
Think about it.
Yeah, I've seen that done on I went to a racetrack one time, and the guy had on top, he put a different ladder on the back, and up top he had indoor outdoor carpet. He built a pop-up bar.
Oh yeah.
Oh
of
my
this,
gosh,
and just
no way.
fold it down. It was.
That's genius.
I
Can
climbed
we
up
get
there.
that
I
guy's
couldn't believe
number?
it.
Let's find that guy.
We got to
If
find
you're
saw him at-
watching, you know who you are.
Yeah.
If you're watching this,
Yeah.
Paul Hilton.
It was at Bristol, man, and it was a sight to see. I mean, you saw it right away. I was like, man, that thing looks different than anything. I walked up to the top. I mean, like I told you, a fold down bar was on that thing, man. It was pretty nice. So He always had a crowd, I would imagine, at every race.
So when will Vanleigh come out with that then?
That one didn't quite cut.
Didn't take?
No,
You could win the 2-for-1 hot dog at the AMPM
that's
for
true.
best idea next
Yeah,
month.
There we go.
That's it.
There we go.
That's a good idea. Nothing like 2-for-1 hot dogs.
Well, right on. Well, Hilton, it's been a treat. Really appreciate you spending some time coming
appreciate
in,
you guys,
training us
man.
this morning, and then sitting down doing the podcast with
Yeah,
us.
this has been awesome, man. And like I say, you guys are very respected dealership. Love working with you guys so far. I know we've been together for over a year now, and it's been fun growing with you as you guys are growing too as well. Hey, anytime, love to come back and do it again.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So where can our viewers, get in contact with you and find out more about you?
Yeah, you could basically call into our main number at Vanleigh, or I'm just like Papa Bob. I even give out my cell phone number. It's 757-328-0865. Give me a call. I'd love to help you out if you got any specific questions about any of our Vanleigh products.
And he'll pick up at 5:20 in the morning.
Yes, I will.
There you go.
Yeah, believe it or not.
All right. Thanks again, Hilton.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. All right.